Hello, in this video we'll go over how to design and draw a maxillary Class II RPD on paper and on the cast. Before we start, it's important to have a plan. Since this is a Class II, you'll notice we'll have a fulcrum line going between the last two abutments, meaning we will need indirect retainers, mainly this tooth right here, the canine, and we will need stress braking clasps. Stress braking clasps for this tooth will include a CC clasp with a mesial rest or an I-bar with a mesial rest called RPA and RPI respectively. We can also use a modified T-clasp with a mesial rest. Both the Mod T and the I-bar are infrabulge clasps, which means they will not be compatible with soft tissue undercuts or buccal vestibular depths that are less than 3 millimeters. This tooth is entirely in front of the fulcrum line, so the only clasp compatible with it would be a wrought wire clasp, and this one is behind the fulcrum line, so it can receive a CC clasp or a ring clasp. When examining the cast, we notice that there aren't any severe soft tissue undercuts and the buccal vestibule seems adequate, so we're going to go ahead and try to make an I-bar on this tooth, looking for a 0.01 inch undercut on the mid-buccal or the mesiobuccal. For this tooth, we'll be looking for a 0.02 inch undercut on the mesiobuccal for a wrought wire. And finally, this tooth will probably be doing a CC clasp, so we'll be looking for a 0.01 inch undercut on the distobuccal. For the major connector, we'll do an AP strap. If you're using an intraoral scanner for your diagnostic appointment, you could use the free online AI Dental Surveyor and Designer, which would allow you to virtually survey and design your cast. We will leave a link in the description for the software and a video demo. However, if you're doing this the analog way, then follow along this video to learn how to survey using the NAE Surveyor and draw your design on the cast and on paper. We will start by securing the cast onto the table. You also want to make sure that the occlusal plane of the cast is fairly level with the horizon. The first step of surveying is to analyze the cast. This is done using the analyzing rod, which looks like this. We'll go ahead and put that into the mandrel. The goal of analyzing the cast is to identify a path of draw that would require the least amount of adjustment on the guide plane areas. The ideal path of draw would require even adjustments on all abutments, rather than no adjustments on some abutments at the expense of the others. As we get the analyzing rod in contact with a surface to be adjusted, a space might appear gingival to the contact point. This means that the angle of the surface to be adjusted does not match the angle chosen for the path of draw, and this would require some adjustment onto that abutment. To minimize this adjustment, we might need to tilt the table in order to change that path of draw so that that surface would better align with the chosen path of draw and minimize the amount of adjustments needed. Once we are satisfied with the path of draw, it's time to switch out the analyzing rod for the 0.01 inch undercut gauge. We will now attempt to find those undercuts that we decided we needed in our initial plan. In order to identify the location of an undercut, the undercut gauge needs to contact the tooth at the shank and the disc. The undercut is located at the point of contact of the disc with the tooth surface. To mark that undercut, the cast is pushed away slightly and a pencil mark is made at the contact point of the undercut gauge, marking the undercut location. This process is repeated for all other abutments. For the tooth requiring a wrought wire, we'll be using the 0.02 undercut gauge to find the undercut we need. Occasionally, we'd find that a tooth does not have the undercuts that we set out to find. This issue can be resolved in a variety of ways. However, in the design phase, we will mark that area for modification using a red pencil. Now that we're done identifying all the different undercuts, it's time to draw the survey line. This is done using the lead and the metal sleeve. They're both detached together and then attached to the mandrel. To correctly draw the survey line, we're going to ensure that only the side of the lead contacts the tooth and not the tip. The side of the lead is rubbed against the highest contour of each tooth, and that leaves a line called the survey line. Anything under that line represents a degree of undercut. Notice how I'm using both my hands to undergo this procedure. The left hand is gripping the base of the table and is used to move the cast around, and the right hand is moving the mandrel up and down and around to ensure that only the side of the lead contacts the tooth. In most cases, only abutment teeth needed by the RPD are going to need to have survey lines drawn on them, and anterior teeth are most likely only going to need to have their facial and proximal contacts surveyed. With this, the surveying is completed, but in order to save the position of the cast, we need to tripod it. This is done using a .03 undercut gauge. The .03 undercut gauge is attached to the mandrel, and the mandrel is lowered so that it would allow that undercut gauge to touch the cast at 3 different areas without having to move the mandrel up and down. A red pencil is then used to mark each area of contact with the undercut gauge on the 3 different points on the cast. And red circles are added for easier visualization. Now we're going to go ahead and draw our design on paper. I use the cast to identify which teeth are missing and mark them with a blue line going through the center of the missing teeth. I'll now use the red side of the pencil to draw all the different rest seats on all the teeth. I'll also add in my guide plane here in red. Next, we'll switch over to the blue side of the pencil and we'll outline those rest seats with the rests themselves. We'll also outline the guide plane like that. The most posterior edge of the guide plate now transitions into the finish line just like that, going all the way back to the hamular notch. Now we'll start drawing some clasps and some minor connectors, starting with the cast circumferential clasp here and extending the minor connector like that. Then drawing the reciprocal portion of the wrought wire clasp and extending its minor connector here. Also extend minor connectors from the indirect retainer as well as the rests and guide plate that are part of the RPI. And to finish off the major connector outline, we're going to connect the remaining lines on the outside of the minor connectors to each other. Now let's go ahead and draw the eye-bar clasp, starting 1 tooth away from the abutment tooth, and then we'll transition into drawing the wrought wire clasp as a solid blue line that goes back and solders onto the lattice. Speaking of the lattice, let's go ahead and draw the openings over each tooth. We're going to add the tissue stop here, and then let's start adding our AP strap. I'll start with the individual lines and then connect the lines together. Once that's done, we'll transition into the denture base in brown, going all the way back and making sure to be flush with the major connector. On the other side, we'll go from one guide plate to the other. We're almost done with the drawing. The only thing left is to write up some information about each clasp next to its drawing. This includes the name of the clasp and the undercut that it's engaging. It's sometimes recommended to add a little bit more narrative, including the type of major connector, the rests, guide planes, as well as clasps. With that, we can now transition to drawing the same design, but on the cast. We will start by drawing our rest seats in red. The next thing to do is to draw the areas of the guide planes. Red denotes areas included in the mouth preparation. That includes areas like guide planes and undercuts that are going to be added or adjusted on the patient's mouth. Next, we're going to start drawing the framework in blue. We'll go ahead and follow the same steps we did on the paper drawing, starting by first outlining each rest seat like this. Then we'll go ahead and outline the guide plane like this here. Now the last minor connector next to the edentulous space gets extended all the way back as this becomes our finish line. Then dropping minor connectors down from each edge of each rest seat, just like that. To draw the minor connectors related to these two teeth, we'll have to start drawing the clasps. So we'll start with the reciprocal arm of the wrought wire clasp. Then we'll start drawing the cast circumferential clasp. Remember that only the tip of the retentive clasp goes gingival to the height of contour, and the reciprocal clasp stays above the height of contour throughout its existence. We'll then draw the minor connector right here. Now we'll start connecting all the different edges of the minor connectors to start developing the shape of the major connector. Let's start finishing up the different clasps, starting with the wrought wire clasp, going from the retentive clasp point, going along the guide plate, and then down back where it will solder itself to the lattice. Now we can start the eye-bar. The tip is drawn at the undercut. Then we're going to try to visualize skipping one tooth space and draw the origin of the eye-bar clasp. Then we're going to connect the tip with the origin to finish off the shape of the clasp. To finish the lattice, we're going to connect the anterior edge of the origin to the guide plane and the posterior edge to the back end of the major connector, leaving a little space there for the finish line to blend with the denture base. To finish the shape of the lattice, we're going to go ahead and add those holes over each tooth. We're also going to add in our tissue stops and draw the opening in the center of the major connector to make it an AP strap. We're going to do this in the same way we drew it on paper, by drawing the individual components and then joining them at the angles. Now we're going to start with drawing the denture base, starting with the guide plate, going down to the depth of the vestibule, around the elbow of the eye bar, and then back around the hamular notch to meet up flush with the major connector. For the dentate side, we can just go from one guide plate to the other, just like with Class 3s. With that, your diagnostic surveying and design are complete, and you're ready to go into mouth preparation. The same concepts of design and drawing can be applied to a lab authorization to be sent to a lab after final impressions. We hope this was helpful, and we'll see you guys on the next RPD video.